What's up, everybody? This time we coming at y'all with a little special. As I said last show, we wanted to get these guys on the show to talk about some of the accomplishments that they had this year and that new type of offensive power that they brought to Wayland, sort of flipping the tide for the history of Wayland football. Just might not have been exactly what they wanted, but it's really going to change some things around from what these guys have started this year and years previous. I'm going to go ahead and start with, well, first, look at me skipping over the introductions. I got Davian over here on my left, Josiah over here on my far right, and I got Tuck right here on my right side. We're going to start with where you guys came from and how'd you end up here at Wayland and how long you been here at Wayland. So you can go ahead and start me off, man.
Yeah, I went to high school at Denton High. That's where I'm from. After that, I went to Mount Marty University out in South Dakota. It was another NAIA. I was a true freshman, so I played a year and then wanted to get closer to home. So kind of sent my tape everywhere, and Wayland was the first one to hit me up. So just decided to come out here.
So you been here for how long now?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Got you.
I went to McKinney Boyd High School. It's in the same area. It's Davian. I came to Wayland straight out of high school. I've been here for 4 years through the ups and downs, and that's about it.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump into it, man, because I didn't know this. The boy over here still got 2 more years left. So you don't have to talk about your eligibility if you don't want to, but if you want to talk about your first 2 years here, you can. And then talk to me about what's the future look like for you moving on from this place. Yeah, man. I mean, it ain't gotta be like. Listen. Hey, look. All I'm saying is, I'm not asking him where he going. I'm not saying that because that's his personal business. I'm just asking in terms of, you know, what does it look like for you in terms of what your plans are when you're moving forward.
I just want to start off by saying this. It's all love for Wayland. I thank them for the 4 years they took me in. They molded me into the man and the player I am today. But like I said, I've built some strong relationships over here throughout the years of me playing. And for the next 2 years in my grad school, when I'm pursuing my master's degree, right now I'm just exercising my options, taking visits right now, just seeing what the best fit is for my future. Not even for just football, but just life as well, because I'm about to transition into that phase as well. So just seeing what school best fits what I'm trying to do in the future. So yeah.
And I'm gonna kind of add on top of his question. All right. But you can keep it a buck. Is there anything Wayland can do to keep you here? like I don't care. I'm gonna ask. That's what the people want to know.
I mean, it's not even the fact. It's not even the school itself. I just feel like my time here is overdue, and it's not like I'm just transferring and not getting my degree. I spent my 4 years here. I got my degree, and I just feel like my time is running out. So I just always had that dream of just challenging myself and chasing bigger. So I feel like now is the time to do that and pursue that. So
that's real.
I mean, when you have a year like Brett had, I feel like that's a good year to close out on if you're gonna leave. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of the year, man, let's talk about both of y'all's performances this year, bro. I ain't got the stats in front of me because I wanted to keep it a little bit more casual. We ain't gonna talk about all that extra stuff. Of course, we're gonna talk about the records and everything that you guys have did. But going into the year, bro, I know you dealt with some adversity because you was sitting the bench for 2 years before you was able to get that call. Yeah. So when you did find out that you were starting this year, was there any sort of like, all right, man, you're gonna be my one man, we're gonna do this thing this year, or was it just like it just happened that way?
I mean, yeah, we had they didn't tell me till late, like right before the season started. Oh, okay. They wanted us to compete until, you know, we couldn't anymore. Yeah. And so they told me like the week of, I think it was on that Monday, they told me I was a starter, and they were just like, well, we're gonna ride with you until either you're turning the ball over too much or you're just not producing. And so they kind of told me like that, and you know, it was my spot to lose, and so did whatever I could to keep it, you know.
And so I'm gonna stay on you for a second. What was that like, honestly, bro? Because I know as an athlete, you're a competitor. It ain't nothing against the next man up, but what did that feel like for you having to wait your turn until you got into this season?
It was rough. Being those 2 years, that first year coming in, I didn't expect to start. I didn't expect to play at all. And they threw me in a couple games and here and there, but it wasn't anything big. Last year, I started around 4 games, I want to say. But that was due to injury. It wasn't even because, they wanted me to be the guy. And so after that, it was kind of that. I took it as a mindset of if I want it, I'm gonna go get it. And so that whole summer, I was working, doing whatever I could to expand my game. I
got you, bro. Josiah, for you, man. Were those 2 years that you didn't play, were those injuries? Was that just ineligibility issues?
Ineligibility.
Okay,
Yes,
I got
sir.
you. So for the 2 years that you did have where you competed, man, I guess it's the same situation. It was a different scenario that caused you to sit out, but what were those 2 years like building up to that first year where you was anticipating, to do what you do?
It was probably one of the worst 2 years of my life, man. I just feel like a dog just in the cage, just waiting to be free, just watching everybody put up numbers, even my peers at other schools, just people I grew up with having seasons, having fun, playing in the season that they were in. And I was just watching, just thinking about stuff that could have went right. But at the same time, I was just accepting what it was and just knowing when my time came, I was going to be ready to shine again.
Man, sitting out, I know for the both of y'all, like what, I know it's a mentality thing, but was there anything for the both of you guys that sort of, through that struggle of waiting, that helped y'all, stay level-headed until you got to that place? And then I know the biggest thing for athletes is when you finally do get the opportunity, sometimes you start pressing. Because it's like, I finally got the opportunity to, they finally got me in this game. I got to do X, Y, Z. How you keep yourself, level-headed, cool through that time period of waiting, and then when it was your turn, you did what y'all did?
Yeah, it took a lot of patience to sit through that 2 years. It wasn't easy by any means. It was rough. I went through a lot of emotions, going through. Thinking I could be the guy, thinking I could, go make some plays for us and be productive. But yeah, it was rough. I just went through every emotion, it felt like, and to me, I felt like it was all worth it, and just to have this season,
Yeah, bro. I feel that.
Back doing off of what he said, just having patience in those 2 years, you just got to find something to fill that void. And for me, it was just focusing on my academics and just keeping God in my life, because he was something that I leaned on heavily during those 2 years, just because I knew what I could do when I got my opportunity. I just knew I just had to wait for a minute. So just keeping my faith in God and knowing what he could do for me when my time came, and that's really about it.
So I guess I was going to ask you, obviously you were behind, or you were second or third in line at quarterback the previous 2 years before this year. And then obviously you got your chance this year, and things started to change. I'll give you a lot of that credit, him as well. But not just y'all two, obviously the coaching staff, the defense as well. So O-line, everybody was involved. But it seemed like the offense clicked a lot more than it has the previous 2 years. How is that relationship with you and the guys who are in front of you? Like, I know you guys are competitive, but you guys are teammates at the end of the day. So how hard was it, to watch them whenever you were sitting out? You obviously had a losing record, and then you come in and things start to change a little bit. What's the relationship like between you and the other quarterbacks on the roster?
Man, it was great, honestly. We would hang out outside of football, and it was a good relationship. I felt like, I've never had any problems with any other quarterbacks or anything, and they kind of accepted me when I came in, and
That's real.
it was a loving relationship, man, and I'm grateful for them.
That's real.
That's good. I ain't gonna lie, last year, remember when, I can't remember what game it was that you came in. It was near the end of the game or something. You remember when I said, hey, Buddy came in and the offense started moving a little bit. You know, why we don't keep Buddy in the game? I got some backlash on that, but then the year comes around and come on, let's be real. So now let's talk about the year as it happened. I know there's always that wide receiver one. Every team got the wide receiver one, that number one option that you're gonna go to. At what point in the year was it just like, I'm just gonna, you know, my boy gonna be open, I'm gonna get it to him? Well, at what point did y'all build that connection? Was that something that y'all had before this season even came up, or was that just a relationship that y'all built during this year?
Nah, that was before. I remember when I first came in, I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know anybody here, but you know, we would be in the same group because he's ineligible and I was just a young guy. And you know, I found out quick that, you know, you throw it in the area, he gonna go get it, you know. So that was the beginning. And then last year, I mean, I know that, you know, I can put it up there for him, and you know, he'll do whatever he can to come down with it. And so this year just kind of all fell together, you know.
I feel that. Josiah, for you, man, how does it feel when you got a QB that's gonna really trust you through no matter what?
It feels good, you know, just having that, building that trust. Like he said, it started before everybody seen it. It really started when he came, we was practicing together for the scout team and stuff like that. But as well as following into that spring, even when he was competing the first year under Coach Page, he was still competing for that starting spot. We'll still be finding time throughout the spring, and even when we came back that fall to throw routes and stuff like that after our workouts or after our off-season workouts. So that's when we started building our relationship together on the field, and it's just been thriving. Yeah. And y'all seen what we can do.
Yeah.
So when y'all was running scout team the previous years, did y'all have a play or two when y'all was just like, oh yeah, like we're gonna be the two guys eventually, like, and we may not be right now, but we're gonna run the show here in a couple years.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to be like cocky or nothing, but it was like more than a play or two. It was multiple plays, multiple plays throughout practice. He'll just find me, and I'll make a play. That's all it came down to, is just making a play, trying to get the defense better, obviously, but just having a niche for the ball, and him and having that ability to find me, I just gotta make a play.
That's big, man. I mean, offensively for y'all this year, I guess my question is, like, when you guys got to that point in the season where, because, like, let's be real, there's some teams that they be like, for example, the Dallas Cowboys. They say they're going to be good every year, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. So they say they're going to be good every year, and then they not good, right? So for y'all, I know it was like that anticipation, a new year, second year coach and host, head coach. Everybody was saying some things going to turn around, and some things did turn around. At what point in the year did you guys really figure out, like, this team is different? Was it a game? Was it a practice? Was it?
I would say it was that second game, the third game, that Sol Ross game. So that first game we played, I mean, we didn't have an identity as an offense at all. You know, we only put up 2 touchdowns, and, you know, we didn't have our offense at all. You know, we had a new OC that came in, and so it took a little while to figure out the pieces of our offense. And then that second game, I mean, honestly, it was a game we were supposed to win like that, you know, and so we got a little confidence. And that third game was Sol Ross. You know, everybody's like, it's a D2. You know, they're supposed to be, you know, way better than us. You know, things like that. And took it to overtime, lost by a point, but we really found our offense, and we found out who the guys can be and who's gonna step up in big moments.
Yeah, back going off of what Davian said, it was definitely the Sol Ross game. Is when we knew who we could be as an offense throughout the season. Going into that game, people thought we were going to get blown out, even because of last year. I mean, we didn't get blown out last year, but they played a very tough game against us, and they beat us by a respectable amount of points. So going into this year, it was a lot of speculation of beating us even worse because they were D3 last year and they jumped to D2. So they picked up a lot of transfer players from around the portal and stuff like that. So when we went in, we didn't start the game off how we wanted to start. But as we started realizing and recognizing we could play with these guys throughout each possession, we started building that confidence each and every drive, and we stacked up like 50 points that game against a D2 team. So
that was a shootout, man. I wish I could have obviously
pulled down now.
Yeah, man, just little things that ended up. You guys didn't come out with the win, but it definitely was a statement to the rest of the really the country. It was like, you know, Wayland can put up some points this year. If nothing else, they can put up a lot of points. What was the record? Were y'all 4-6? Was that the final record?
4-6.
How many games do you guys feel like? And of course, you're probably gonna say all
of them,
10.
but
Like, yeah, but like,
come on, keep it
is
real.
there any specific games where you guys feel like, man, if we would have got that, we probably could have got some more momentum rolling and maybe finished 500 or better?
really, yeah.
I would say the Ottawa game.
Really?
The Ottawa game. We had a big drive that we, if we would have drove down and scored, probably be down by 3. So, you know, somewhere would put us in the game, you know. But drive didn't turn out how we wanted it to. Ended up having to. That was when we went for that fourth down conversion. Yeah, that one. And if we got that third down, it was like that 3rd and 5 or something like that. If we got that third down, we wouldn't, you know, we could have kept rolling. If we scored, it would have been big for us. We would have been in the game with the top-notch team in the conference, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, y'all played with them.
Yeah.
Shoot, other than the So Ross game, definitely Ottawa because of what he said. And then following week, I think we played Texas Wesleyan.
I'm telling you that one.
That game, yeah, we definitely had them on the ropes, and we had them outnumbered for a little bit. And then the last 2 games of the year, we lost by 2 points, and then we just lost by 1. So that's 4 games throughout this year that we definitely could have.
Came out on top.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like speculate because I know like y'all have y'all respect for the coaches and players and everything. The last 2 games, I noticed like the offense play style changed a lot, like tremendously.
Yeah.
What went into that type of change at the end of the year?
Backup quarterback just plays a different game than I do. You know, he has a different skill set that you know I don't have. You know, I'm not a scrambling quarterback. I'm not one to, you know, go run around the field. And you know, he's more an elusive guy. And so they're just trying to key in on that and trying to use that, and couldn't get the run game going. I mean, we were trying, and you know, some things just weren't working, and so we had to rely on, you know, somebody that really didn't play all season, obviously, and to come in and try to step up for us. And
I got you. That makes sense. I mean, I figured it was the QB situation because I know, like, you know, everybody got a different style of play, and I didn't know how that affected the running game, but I see. Now let's talk about let's get off of the season for a little bit in terms of as a team as a whole. Let's talk about individual, I guess, accolades. I'm gonna start with you because you got a long list, my boy. You can pull out your phone if you got to remember them. But talk about all the records you broke first. Then talk about what were your goals going into the season, and then give me a little breakdown of, at what point in the season where you felt yourself like, I'm gonna take this one all the way. Like, I'm gonna do what I had in my mind to do, and I'm gonna do above and beyond.
Well, to name off the records,
You gotta count them.
I'm not,
You more than 2 hands.
man, I say I'm leading receiver in a single season in Wayland history, leading most yards in the game in a single game in Wayland history, most receptions in a single game, thanks to my quarterback over there in Wayland history, first 200-yard plus receiver, performance game in Wayland history, first 1,000-yard receiver in Wayland history. Shoot, I was #1 in the conference this year for receiving, number 5 in the country for receiving as well, and I couldn't do any of that first without God, and then without my teammates and my coaches around me that put me in that predicament to make those plays. My quarterback throwing me the ball, offensive coordinator calling plays, Coach Wood calling plays for me. I mean, defenses were scheming on me a lot this year, but he still had faith in my ability and to make plays, so I thank him for that. And from Ottawa throughout the rest of the season, I didn't have any game less than 100 yards. So that's when I knew like that I had a real chance, and I was doing it against legit competition, and I was just trying my best to stack up the weeks. So.
Davian, for yourself, man, the accomplishments that you had this year, talk about your goals before going into the season. I know that's honestly a crazy thing to even try to anticipate when you just worried about getting the starting position.
Me and his situation was a lot different. He came into the season, he knew he was the guy. Yeah. You know, he came in, he knew he was the #1 receiver, and he was gonna be our main target. Yeah. You know, for me it was, you know, I was just trying to win the spot, man, and I went through each workout over the summer, you know, thinking about that, you know, what can I do to get the edge over some other guys on the roster, and you know, my goal was to win. You know, I feel like if we're winning and if we're putting up points as an offense, those stats are gonna come. Yeah. You know, and so then we went into the season, and you know, I thought we had the potential to be something, and those first 2 games kind of didn't really show anything for me, and after that Sol Ross game, it was pretty clear that we can do some big things, and we go through the season. I think it was, I want to say week 5, week 6, and you know, I only threw 2 picks up to that point. Yeah. You know, and that was huge. Yeah. You know, that turnover ratio is big for us in games, and so then I feel like somewhere around there, I probably looked at the record for the touchdowns, and I was on pace to break it, and unfortunately I ended up getting hurt week 8. Week 8, and after that, it hurt a little bit, you know, because knowing I probably could have broke some records, I probably could have had more than what I got, but you know, I'm satisfied with the season that I had, you know, and I'm happy with it. And
I think the biggest thing, man, is whether you broke the record or not, people know your name. Yeah, I think you came here and you did what you did. Y'all had the year that y'all had, and you know, people gonna know who Davian Guajardo is. Exactly. People gonna know who Josiah Barron is, you know. And that's the good thing about it. I mean, in the record books, yeah, that's always a blessing. Because trust me, I was chasing records myself when I was playing. But people still gonna know who you are. I know one game I was out there real early, and I saw you walk over, and I'm assuming that was your dad that you gave a real long hug to, and I was like, that's a great support system. You know, your parents gonna be at every single game, no matter how far it is. Talk to me about what that feels like to know that you always gonna have that support in this game.
You know, it's a blessing, man, because, you know, not a lot of people have that ability to have their parents come to the game, and my dad came about 5 out of the 10 games we had this year. He came to like 2 home games, I believe, but I know every game he was there, I think about the Saturday mornings that I first used to play football, 4th grade, CYFL Eagles. We used to listen to this one song called "Going In for the Kill" by this rap group called LEP Bogus Boys. And before every game I know he's going to, I bump that song in my headphones, and I just reminisce about the times and the moments we had when I was a kid, when I first started playing football. And I get real amped up thinking about it, and that really helps me perform on Saturdays. So.
And for you?
Yeah, for me it's my older brother. He wasn't able to make a lot of the games. He's a football coach back in my old high school, and so you know, they're traveling as much as we are, and so but he came to a couple. I want to say he came to like 3, 4 games, but he was always that guy that, you know, when I was little, he wanted me to be better than him, you know, and so, you know, he would throw me through the workouts that he's doing, and he would be in high school and I'm in middle school, and you know, he would make me do the stuff that he's doing to elevate myself, you know, and he's always had my back, especially through football, and so I would say like he was like a father figure for me, and so whenever I seen him at the games, man, I'm trying to have my best game. You know, I'm trying to show him, you know, what he created. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a big driving force. And like he said, I mean, before the game, I reminisce about everything. You know, the journey. I've been playing football since I was like 4. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm the first one in my family to play college ball. Even being I'm a first-generation college student. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so things like that, just trying to put a name out there. You know, I always try to serve my last name well, and so that was a big driving force for me.
I guess I was gonna ask both of y'all. It's kind of a silly question, but excuse me. Do you, what guys, like, I guess in the NFL, do you guys watch and think, man, I want to play like him. I want to take bits and pieces of his game after him. Who's somebody that you guys watch, and it could be now or when you were growing up, that you thought you could emulate your game after a little bit?
For me, it was, at first, the beginning was Brett Favre. Sounds crazy because he turns the ball over like crazy.
Yeah, he be serving.
Yeah, but that confidence, that, you know, that gunslinger mindset, I mean, I loved it. And then when I got a little bit older, it was Drew Brees all the way. Yeah. And he was the most accurate, you know, quarterback in the game to me, in my opinion. And so you know, I try to be just as good as he is. And I took a lot of footwork and stuff from him, and just little things like that where my throwing motion, I can, you know, change my angle a little bit from my arm. But Drew Brees for sure was that guy.
I feel like for me growing up, I really wasn't like watching a lot of like specific position. I was just really player oriented. So, you know, I was a Cowboys fan, man. It was hard growing up. Still is. It still is hard, you know. But I like Marion Barber. He was one of the first running backs that I watched when I was a kid. And then just players around the NFL like Deshaun Jacksons and the LaShawn McCoys, the Michael Vicks, like players like just on certain teams like that I remember. That's what I grew up watching. And then currently, as of right now, my favorite receiver in the NFL is definitely Justin Jefferson, hands down. So that's definitely somebody I emulate, take pieces of his game from.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, actually, one last thing, promise. I know y'all talked about y'all's journeys. A lot of people who wait don't stay. What kept y'all here?
I just felt like it wasn't the right time for me to leave. And, you know, first and foremost, you come to college to get your degree. So, and I felt like if I left last year, it would have been remedial of me to do because I was a year away from getting my degree. Then the years I was sitting out, it was like, where else am I going to go? I might as well just get my degree here until, like, just show that I can be the person over here and just show that who I am as a man over here, and then get my degree and then leave from there. So that was really my main reason in staying. And then other than that, just sticking with the program and just being able to be a part of that group that helped change and uplift Wayland as a football program.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I knew God's time is never wrong, you know? And so I knew that when I came here, I grew closer to God. And so that faith really helped me, you know, kind of stay grounded and kind of stick it out for the next few years. And, you know, whether it was up or down that year leading up to the one we just had, you know, I knew that no matter what happened, you know, I was taken care of regardless. You know, and so, but yeah, and I would say the relationship with the other guys that come through here, you know, I had a lot of great relationships with some guys that, you know, maybe they're not here, maybe they are, but, you know, I met some lifelong friends being here. And so, like you said, the group of guys, Ponder, TB, Ryan, you know, Harper, all them. And so, you know, I met a lot of guys that beyond college, beyond football, you know, I know those are still my guys, you know.
And that's a blessing in itself, man. You never know. Well, first of all, I want to appreciate y'all taking the time out y'all day to come out here and answer some of these questions, man. We always like to have some casual conversations with the guys that we talk about. so everybody else can see y'all's mindset, who y'all are as people, which everybody know y'all good, but it's cool to hear the conversation that we had here. That's all we got for y'all today, man. I hope that y'all enjoyed this episode. Hopefully we can continue on this thing with other sports, other athletes as well, maybe even some coaches. But that's all we got for y'all today, and we'll see y'all, I guess, sometime soon.